Hola amigos, welcome back to another episode of Money Maketh Man. I'm your host, Org aka OG, and this is another episode of your favorite show, Money Maketh Man with Nairametrics. So, as the show goes, we've spoken about how to save money, how to invest money, how to make money. But today I'm going to tell you one way you could spend your money and still make an impact and get returns on investments. Yes, I'm wondering what you're thinking. So today we're talking about philanthropy, and I realize that a lot of people don't speak about philanthropy as it relates to money. And philanthropy, this is not from a religious or an irreligious angle. This is just from the angle of wanting to make an impact on your immediate society. It's also a form of investment. So, what is philanthropy? Philanthropy is basically giving back, using resources for the betterment of the welfare of human beings and your immediate society. But the thing is, a lot of people think for you to be a philanthropist, you have to be really, really rich. You have to be either Bill or Melinda Gates. You have to be, a Jeff Bezos. But philanthropy really can start from any angle, and it doesn't have to be money. It could be your time, it could be your resources. So, philanthropy is giving back, making an impact. And like I said, this is not like, oh, from a religious angle or building a church. That's a form of philanthropy, but it's not just for religious or irreligious people. It's just for it's a way of investing in your society and then making returns on the investment. The returns might not be monetary, but it's definitely impactful. I don't know if you are aware, but Denzel Washington once paid for some classes for young growing actors and actresses in Hollywood, and apparently he had paid for Chadwick Boseman to go to, I can't remember what school, but he basically paid for Chadwick's training, and then, as we all know, Chadwick Boseman became Black Panther. So you see, an act of philanthropy on the Washington side gave us Black Panther from Marvel, one of the biggest movies from Marvel, one of the biggest actors in Hollywood. Although Chadwick is dead now, may he so rest in peace. But you see, philanthropy really goes a long way. We have people like Tunde, Chess in Slums, we have Ashakan, we have so many philanthropists in big and small ways. Um, the thing with philanthropy is, first you have to find a cause. I wouldn't say just give money to any and everything. You have to find causes that are dear to your heart, causes you relate with, causes you can see yourself, going the extra mile for, in terms of, resources, time, trying to raise funds. That would be something that would really push you, because like I said, the return on investments with philanthropy might not be monetary, so you might not have the zeal to go for it. But if you find a cause that is close to your heart, then you'll be pushed, you'll be gingered. So it could be art, it could be kids, it could be, well, I don't like the word disabled, I like to say differently abled. So it could be differently able children, maybe with cerebral palsy, with autism, with, who are paralyzed, all those type of things. Those are the things that might be close to your heart. It could also be music, it could be food. A lot of kids suffer from malnutrition, a lot of human beings suffer from malnutrition. Kwashiorkor is still a thing, marasmus is still a thing. It could be food. You could really, really like food and be passionate about having a balanced diet. That could be your source of philanthropy. Then when you find a cause, you can either then be the front runner of that cause, or find an NGO or an MPO that supports such causes. An NGO is a non-governmental organization, an MPO is a non-profitable organization. Those are organizations that typically work for philanthropic causes. So you could find a cause, an MPO or an NGO that aligns with a cause that you're passionate with, and support with either time, money, resources, or you could start your own and, push for it, gather funds, start in a small way, be impactful, do what you have to do. What I would also say with philanthropy is it goes a long way. And like I said in the beginning, you don't need to be Melinda or Bill Gates to be a philanthropist. That 20K, that 10K, that 15K can literally pay for a child's school fees. The money that I spend on Sunday brunch in Lagos, like that 45, that 30K, that 40K you take to Sunday brunch, can actually pay for like 3, 4 kids in school. government schools are still very cheap, but a lot of people still cannot afford those schools. So it goes a long way. Again, this is not me, trying to pick at your conscience or trying to use the word of God to, try and entice you into giving back. But it's just, at the end of the day, if even if you have money and the rest of your society or your immediate society, not your family but like your immediate community, is not set up, there's so much your money can do for you. If the basic needs, food, shelter, education, data, the surrounding economy or surrounding community does not have it, there's so much your money can do for you personally. So that's why I decided that today let's talk about philanthropy and just give examples of how far philanthropy can go. Tunde, Chess in Slums started. I remember seeing, I think the first time I heard about Chess in Slums was it lockdown or 2021, where CNN covered him and the kids. I remember seeing videos of them under the bridge playing chess, and I thought to myself, I play a bunch of board games, but chess is one thing I never got to play. I know how to play Monopoly, I know how to play Scrabble, checkers, whatever. Most board games I probably know how to play them, but I never learned chess. And I thought to myself that, oh, this is cool. An idle mind is really the worst thing that can happen to you, because that's where bad thoughts can come in. That's where it can be easily influenced. But if you take people's times and people's energy and put it into productive things, you actually have a productive society. So I thought this was cool. And Tunde now has taken kids from the slums to play at internationally recognized games. They have an unbeaten record. He's been to New York. I think he's currently in Athens, if I'm not mistaken, at the point of me recording this video. A child with cerebral palsy, which really touched my heart, left home, learned how to play chess, and he's a chess master now. This is a kid that most of the society would have probably written off as maybe a liability. I really don't like these bad words, but it is what it is. Maybe a liability, but that philanthropic act has taken this child to a level where he probably wouldn't have thought he would have been. A 15-year-old autistic child has started the Guinness Book, or is attempting to break the world record for the largest painting on the largest canvas ever. So acts of philanthropy actually go a really long way. And I believe everyone, no matter your level, no matter your earning capacity, even if you can't give money. I remember in my secondary school, in SS2, which is grade 11, I think that's grade 11, I don't know, SS2 sha. In SS2, you are made to work either in an orphanage home or an old people's home for 3 weeks. I think it was 3 weeks for your long summer break. So in SS2, before you get into SS3, for 3 weeks, you either have to work at an orphanage home or an old people's home. And you think, oh God, my long summer break, what am I going to? And you have to go there every day, Monday to Friday, every day. It was like checking in, like clocking into work, because you think you're just going to go. People are being sent to watch. There's a register for you to sign in, sign out, and you have to do the work. I remember working in St. Anne's Orphanage in Warri, and it was a really, really beautiful experience. Honestly, some of the babies there have a big, big space in my heart. I learned so much during that period. And typically the tradition was, before you stop like it was called service project. Before you stop your service project, you typically throw like a party, a going away party. So you'd bring books, clothes, toiletries, anything they need, cake, food, and just give back. So it really sowed that seed of giving back generally, even before service project in secondary school. My school had other things that made you want to give back. I'm not going to call my secondary school here, but if you know, you know. So yes, on my end, I like to give back a lot if I say cause, and I'm not an owner of an MPO or an NGO just yet, But if I see a cause that aligns with me and I know I can vet this NGO and I know that they actually use the money for what is intended to or what it is intended for, I always try to give back. I always try to contribute, either monetary, give resources, or even a quick reshare on your status, on your story, on your Twitter feed can go a long way. Take today when you watch this and think about a way you could spend your money, make an impact. Return on investments don't have to be dividends or, large chunks or profits or turnover. Return on investments can easily just be the impact on society. So be a philanthropist in your own little way. Give back and, investments or return on investments don't need to be dividends. They don't need to be shares. They don't need to be heavy profits. They don't need to be you being an angel investor and cashing out after 5 years. Return on investments can be impact. Impact is a major ROI. So until the next time you hear my voice, until the next time you watch your favorite show, Money Maketh Man, stay blessed and have a great week. Bye.